All right, Darren, look, it's been a long time since
Yeah.
you've been here. Can you describe the emotional feelings you felt when you got your hand raised victory?
You know what? I'm not an emotional person, but like I nearly come to a tear, and just like I've been 2 years out, and it's not only the stress of not fighting. I've had a lot of personal. And I'm not one to like go, oh, I've got personal problems, but I have had. But I don't sit there and cry, and just to come back and just have just that feeling. I've dedicated my whole life to this. Do you know what I mean? And so like that's it basically. I got the win, and I'm back now, and I'm back to stay. I'm back. I'm coming through it. I'm coming for everyone.
Can you give some insight into what's been going on?
Yeah, of course. I got nothing to hide. Like obviously I lived in Brazil. I had my camp over there, and I've always had my camp in England with my master Colin Heron and obviously my master Marcelo Brigadeiro. But like I went through a time where I split up with my girlfriend, who's the mother of my child. So we had our own place together. So finding another place, and the UFC, they're great towards me, but they don't pay a monthly wage, and I basically live off fighting. So I had to worry about money problems, and if it wasn't for me last fight about winning the bonus, things would have been tougher. And I wanted to bring my camp back to England, with my master Colin, to work more on my striking and evolve a few techniques. So just basically everything rolled up into 2 years. Shoulder surgery, I had to find 3 different surgeons to make sure my shoulder was 100%. So all that, I'm not sitting here crying, but that's what I've had to go through. So now tonight to get the win again and stay undefeated, and I'm the best welterweight in the world, is phenomenal.
So considering those problems that you had, both financially and physically and like emotionally,
Yeah.
did you feel any kind of ring rust, or did anything feel different getting back in there?
Yeah, like I've got a lot of fighting experience, even though for my age I've been fighting since I was 12, and I've been fighting in the streets when I was a kid as well. So, but Jessin's a good fighter, hats off to him. But he was hitting me with some shots what I shouldn't be getting hit with, because I feel like I'm an elite striker. But that's what happens. And I felt like the first round, even though my coach Conley said lay off him a bit, I just felt like a few things here and there. But I think towards the second and the third round, I found me timing with him. Like I was moving out of shots, and he wasn't able to find me. You know what I mean? And I like getting hit as well, so I let him hit me a bit.
What happened with the weight cut situation?
It's just I've always done my weight cut in a certain way. I'm known by the UFC. I've took a fight on 9 days for the UFC, and I've made the welterweight division. I've never ever missed weight. I'm a professional. I do everything professionally. But I think I'm 99% sure, because of me long 2-year stretch out, my body was just went into shock mode on them last few pounds, because I was doing everything the way I do it, and the last few pounds I'm sitting there in a bath and a sauna, and I'm not sweating, and I wasn't completely exhausted. I was in a bit of a state, but they just weren't shifting, and I put it down to having such a long layoff. So right now, I was a little bit heavy a few weeks ago. Next time when I fight, I'm going to get my weight a little bit lower, just so none of this problem comes again. I know people, I'm just going to take the shit what everyone's going to give me, because that's how fighting is. People miss weight, but I don't like it. But I missed weight. What can I do? I've give Jessin 30% of me pay. He can have it. Fair's fair. And I had to weigh in at 85 kilos today at 1 o'clock, so I did that as well. So after I missed weight, I came through all the right regulations, and what can I say? Everyone who wants to give me shit on Twitter, go on, give me shit.
Overall, though, just despite from a little bit of ring rust and getting hit more, how did you feel about your performance in general and about the result?
I felt like my performance was great. There was loads of mistakes. Next week I'll be sitting down with my coach Colin, and I'll be FaceTiming my master in Brazil, Brig. But yeah, I felt like the fans, it was the second fight of the night. Usually fans, they're all waiting for the main event. They're all waiting for the co-main. They were on the feet when I was, second round. I was cheering them on. They were on the feet. They were screaming for me. The first round, it was a bit stale, which was our game plan. But I felt like I showed the UFC who the king is, who's the new prospect on the block. That's what I felt like.
And who does the new prospect on the block feel like getting back into a cage with next time?
I'm not bothered. I feel like I'm at a point in my career now where I don't, name calling. I'm not really at that stage. I feel like when I start breaking into the top 15, then I'll start calling out people. But right now, it's just about knocking all the other Jessin's on a 7-fight win streak, meant to be the best prospect in Europe. And I've just played with him for 3 rounds. So who's the next prospect? I'll just knock him off the block as well, because I'm the king.
Do you care where you fight? You prefer Europe or anywhere else?
No, I can fight anywhere. I can fight in the back garden if the UFC want to do a show there, sell some tickets. No, I don't care. I've fought in Brazil where they're saying, you know, uva more hair, you know, you're gonna die. I don't care. I'm a fighter. I come from the fighting streets. You know, I'm a gangster. Is that okay? Yeah, thank you very much for your time. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Good to see you.